Good morning and welcome to this weekly market update from AGM Markets. Today is the 7th of October 2013. What we'll do today is go through some technical analysis on Euro, Dollar, Cable, Dollar Swiss, Dollar CAD and Gold. Basically just go through some technical analysis on these pairs, review what's been going on in the markets and give some sort of outlook for this week in terms of technical analysis. I will not be making any trickles recommendations in this video. You trade at your own risk. If you could please read our full disclaimer on our website www.agmmarkets.com. And also for any new followers out there, we have 3 moving averages on each of these charts. The red one is a 50 simple moving average, the purple is a 100 simple moving average, and the gold is a 200 simple. Okay, then let's have a look at the euro dollar charts. This is the daily chart. We'll have a brief look at the weekly candle from last week. You can see we had a bit of upper wick on it, which is indicating that the sellers came in near the end of the week. Yeah, it was on Friday. But a lot of selling activity in the euro dollar, and that's caused this this wick at the top. So it looks like the uptrend for this year could be stalling. If you look around here, when it had last similar sort of candle, actually a bit of upper wick there, we sold off for a couple of weeks there, and then of course we came back up. So it could just be another retracement. And that's what I think it will do. So it could do a very similar thing to what we had here. So this fib here from the lows to the highs, draw that out wider, retracement down to the 50% rotated higher. So what I think will happen this week, well, I'd not be surprised to see it happen, would be see some sort of retracement down towards perhaps this 50% level, or it could you can see this previous high around here, which is at around the 34.40s level. I would not be surprised to see it come back down there, which I think will be a 38.2% retracement as well. I mean, for the purpose of this video, we just look at the 50% and the 61.8 because they're sort of the healthier retracement levels, the more obvious ones that the market tends to come down to. But there's nothing stopping it coming down to this sort of level around here, or even this previous support around here as well, which is 1.3468. Yeah, that's pretty much it on euro dollar. I mean, last week it's been slowly grinding higher. It looks like it's been running out of steam. So yeah, I think we'll get a bit of news out this week. Be some sort of catalyst for retracement, or I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of long-term traders just banking profits up here. That's what happened last week at the end of last week, and yeah, see it come back down there. Of course, with the 50-day moving average here as well, so you could get a nice bit of confluence there if it comes down to that level. Cables, have a brief look at last week's weekly candle as well. Very similar to euro dollar, but much more bearish. A decent upper wick, a big red candle, and virtually no lower wick on that. So it really has closed at the lows of the week there on cable. So I really would expect some sort of retracement this week on cable, perhaps down to 50% as well. Of course, at the moving averages around here as well. And of course, this is the previous high over here, which may come in. That comes in around one spot, 57.50s. And of course, at the moving averages here as well. So very similar to euro. That is the key setup. This is the weekly chart, of course, so it's got a long way to come down to here. So I thought we were on the daily there, but yeah, in terms of weekly, that is the perspective for me, I think. And of course, this support, well, this previous high, which most likely will turn into some short-term support, will most probably be a 38.2% retracement as well, similar to euro that. But let's flip it to the daily. And yeah, I mean, I'd look at the same in February. I'd have this one still kept in my charts. Of course, it is a long way away from that 50%. But of course, yeah, if you use the 38.2 or any of the smaller ones, so it looks like it really has topped out here at around the sort of 1.6250s level. And it looks like it wants to come back down. So that's the first key support. I mean, a lot of people will be looking at the fib, this sort of low here, which is there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think it would be as strong as the other one. But yeah, keep that on the charts as well. That's definitely one I'd look at, and that will count towards the shorter term time frames as well. If you're looking at the 4 hour, that'll be the same focus for me, really. But yeah, in terms of the daily, those are the two setups I'll be keeping an eye out for. And of course the key line in the sand as well, if it does come down, which it looks like it will be this one spot 60 level. That'll be a key option expiry level. Of course it already has come in as a bit of support. You can see the last couple of days, the opening last night and today, it's already starting to bounce up a bit, so the key 160 is the line in the sand. But of course, yeah, if we do break through that, and we've got a few key levels on this chart. The dollar Swiss is an interesting one. It's been, well, it's some big sort of peaks and troughs here. It's making lower lows, but there's sort of big spikes high. So we had this set up here, remember, highs to lows, came up 50% retracement, rotated to the downside, and really has sold off aggressively. So let's say it's bottomed out here, which it may do, because you remember euro dollar and dollar Swiss, they do like to do the complete opposite thing, sort of mirror image charts. So I'd personally be looking for any selling opportunities if we come up around this 50% level, which is where the 50-day moving average is as well, very similar to the euro dollar there. And yeah, in terms of the 4 hour, it's exactly the same setup. If you're looking at some really short-term moves, then this 1 hour, assume this could be a decent fib here, from this low to high. Well, actually no, it's interesting, it's closed below, where if you look at the 4 hour maybe, if we stick to the 4 hour, and watch out for the 4 hour candle close. If it closes above that, then I wouldn't be surprised to see it rotate higher. So there's a nice sort of short-term fib setup there. Keep an eye on the price action on that one. That should be quite an interesting one. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD's been a great chart, really technical, especially on this weekly. Lovely trendline support, which has been holding there. You can see. And if you flip that to the daily as well, same context. I just need to move that trend line in a bit. So that's me. Let's use this trend line here on the daily. That's what I'll be keeping an eye out for. It's been quite choppy really the last week. I mean, we did get this lovely reversal candle here off of this trendline support, and it's started to rotate high, but it's been quite slow. But as you can see, the 200-day moving average is propping it up here. So keep an eye on that. As long as it keeps above the 200-day moving average, then the bias should be towards the upside here. But of course, you've got the moving averages up here as well, the 100-day and the 50-day moving average as well. Yeah, that's another thing I was looking at. But yeah, I think the bias is still towards the upside. I wouldn't be surprised to see it rotate higher. But yeah, it's just got to keep above this 200-day moving average really. Anything above that, and yeah, I mean, as soon as it gets above these moving averages, which I think it will, then you can see a decent rotation towards the upside. But it is looking a little bit heavy, not that convincing on this dollar CAD. It's sort of in no man's land, really. It's just floating in between. It really to decide either way, to be honest. As to Forex, let's have a look at gold. Gold, I've left this setup from the last few weeks' videos really. It's still the same one. This lovely fib setup from lows to highs. Initially we came off the 50% here, lovely reversal candle, but then it came back down and then bam, straight off this 61.8 to the pip. And we're now above this 50%, which is now acting as the support, and it was previous support as well at the 1305s. But similar to dollar CAD, it's struggling to pop up, and it needs to break above these moving averages, I think, to really get some traction towards the upside, and it needs to get above this trendline resistance as well. Don't forget you can bring that in maybe there, or if you like to use it to the peaks, then you can do so likewise like that. Yeah, that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed that video. If there's any other pairs you want to have a look at next week, then feel free to give me a shout. I basically just showed you the most interesting charts I think that are around at the minute. We normally look at dollar yen, but that's just not very interesting at the minute in my opinion. These are most of the majors. So yeah, if there's anything you want to have a look at next week, then feel free to send a tweet to our Twitter feed or our YouTube feed. Have a great rest of the week trading, and I'll catch you next week. Thanks for listening.